Hey, D2C brands that are thriving in 2025 just aren't growing their revenue, but they're mastering their margins. I mean, let's be honest. Acquisition costs are rising, potential tariffs are hitting imports, and just the sentiment across the industry is that margins are shrinking. But there is a financial playbook that I'm implementing with all of my clients that can change all of that. My name is Jared Souza. I am a fractional CFO for D2C brands, and I'm the guy that's behind the scenes that are taking companies from 7 to 8 to 9 figures profitably that you don't hear about. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's be real with where we're at. Across the board, I am seeing acquisition costs rising, or if they're not rising, clients just aren't acquiring as many first-time customers as they once were. And then we have the rise in tariffs, or the increase in tariffs that are being implemented, which is going to increase your cost of goods, thus shrinking your margins. Now, I do have another video about that and how you can navigate through that, which I will post as a link below. And also, financing is getting tighter, right? I will say this, Shopify Capital loans are just the new check to payday. What do you call them? The payday loans of our time. Like, if you were to really extrapolate what the APR is when you're paying on those, it is exorbitant. So if you do not need to take those loans, please do not. I've got other options. Reach out to me, but those are highly expensive and they have it dialed in and they're highly profitable for them. So as I'm describing this entire environment, it can seem very bleak, but within these types of environments comes opportunity for the brands that can navigate it well. And so first and foremost, what I want to talk about is the foundations of your business, is having accurate financial foundations. And I harp on this all the time. Your financials are the report card of your business. It's where everything is conveyed to you on how well you're doing as a business owner. Are you getting an A? Are you getting an F? It's telling you your profitability, it's telling you the assets that you have, is telling you your cash flow. So you need to make sure that you understand that and that they are accurate. And so this means reviewing that at a minimum on a monthly basis, understanding the KPIs that you need to track and how well your margins are doing. And without this, I see a lot of D2C brands that are navigating through this time period with incomplete data. And so start off with making sure that you have strong financial foundation in place for your business. Now let's progress. Let's get to the acquisition cost. How do you measure that? I still see companies that are measuring ROAS, or agencies that are throwing ROAS out there. And this is an incomplete metric to be measuring how efficient your marketing is performing for your brand. So the metric that I love to use across the board is your customer acquisition cost. Why? Because we have a target of first-time customers that we are trying to acquire. We can fully analyze where our break even is in terms of what we're willing to spend to acquire those customers. And then when we take that and extrapolate to customer lifetime value, we don't have to do any other formulas. We just extrapolate it out and it's apples to apples, right? When we take our customer lifetime value contribution margin, which I'll talk about in a sec. So it's not ROAS. What does this mean in regards to customer lifetime value, right? And the hidden effect of ROAS is you do not know how well it's performing your marketing spend between first time and returning customers. It's just taking it all together. We spent this, we made this, and that's it. So what can be hidden in there is a lot of retargeting spend that is highly efficient, right? So it can push your ROAS up. What can also be hidden in there is you don't understand that within that ROAS target, while it might stay the same month over month, your first time customers could have dropped by 50% and you have no idea. That is going to hurt in 3 to 6 months when instead of having 10,000 first time customers that are coming back and repurchasing from you, now you have 5,000 and your returning revenue starts to dip. So make sure you are using marketing KPIs that are giving you the proper information for you to make strategic decisions quickly and how it's going to affect your business. And if those KPIs are off from the goals, the targets that you have set on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual basis. So make sure you have the proper marketing efficiency KPIs that you are tracking. So this is getting into lifetime value. Obviously, you need to understand your customer lifetime value. What point in the journey are customers like falling off or they're not spending as much? So you can try to fix that. But it's not just customer lifetime value. You need to understand your customer lifetime value contribution margin, because with every single purchase, you're going to have expenditures attached to that. You're going to have, even if you've already acquired these customers, you're going to have your cost of goods. You're going to have shipping expenditures. You're going to have merchant fees. So you need to strip that off of your customer lifetime value to truly understand at what point you break even. So again, we're going back to our CAC metric. We spent this much to acquire customers. We understand we have customer lifetime value going through time. But if we remove that contribution margin, then we fully only get an accurate picture and I can graph this out for you on at what point you're going to break even, at what month. So if you've got proper cash flow during this time, even when marketing costs, when acquisition costs are rising, you could potentially be spending more and acquiring more customers than your competition, which is going to increase your market share through time. So there's always opportunities when things like this happen in the market. So with your customer lifetime value contribution margin, make sure you understand at what point you're breaking even on your customer acquisition, comparing that to your CAC, your customer acquisition cost. Because I have seen brands where they think they're breaking even like month 1 and it's actually not month 4. And this can cause a huge cash flow gap in your business. So make sure you thoroughly understand that and you're analyzing that on a monthly basis. The next aspect that you want to focus on is your inventory management. Tariffs are coming. If you're importing from countries where tariffs are getting hit hard, your cost of goods is going to go up. Like I said, I have a video that talks about how to navigate that. But on the forefront is you want to understand your inventory. You want to convert dead inventory. When I mean by dead, I mean just sitting there, right? If your inventory is typically churning every 3 to 4 months and you have stuff that's sitting there 6 to 8 months, figure out a way to convert it to cash as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it's just sitting there. You've already paid for it and it is creating an opportunity cost within your business that is not healthy. So understand your inventory, understand what inventory needs to be converted to cash that's been sitting there a long time. Get inventory on the water, understand deposit, like it's a cash flow game that's dealing with inventory. And so understand your inventory in terms of what you need, when you need it, and do not over order. But I don't know if I should say this, but I would rather you over order than under order in terms of if inventory is moving quickly, you don't want to run out of inventory. There's going to be an opportunity cost. And if you run out of inventory, keep selling it, communicate with your clients that as soon as they get back in stock and give them the proper lead time, usually customers will understand. You'll have a few that refund, but again, don't be scared not to keep selling if you run out of inventory, if you know that it's coming back within 2 to 4 weeks, and just communicate that clearly. Again, at the end of the day, have solid inventory management, supply chain management baked into your business. Last piece, overhead. Stay lean. Stay lean within your overhead. What is this? This is payroll. This is rent. This is subscription. Go through these expenditures on a monthly basis and cut what is not necessary. Can you get more efficient with your people? I was talking to one company that there was so much overlap between their employees and we could consolidate what 3 people were doing into 1. Again, nobody likes firing people, but if your business is bleeding cash and you're headed in the wrong direction, I would rather you make the decision than the decision be made for you. If you get to a place where you no longer are able to make the decision, when what I mean by that is the cash within your business is going to dictate the decision that you have to make. That's not a healthy place to be. So make these decisions quickly. Do not sit on the sideline and continue to run a pros and cons list. The financial data will tell you, I'm going to say what decision to make, but what areas that you need to decide on, right? And so stay lean on your overhead. Do not get overextended. If you're going to add expenditures to the general and administrative category, make sure that you are already hitting the targets that you need to hit in order to bring those expense on. What do I mean by that? Well, we create forecasts, and a lot of times people will start adding expenditures based on the forecast on these numbers that we should hit. The problem is when you don't hit those numbers, now not only are you getting hit on the top line, we didn't hit those, but now you've increased your expenditures. And so now you're getting hit on both sides and you're getting squeezed. So don't do it until completely necessary when you need to add expenditures to your administrative side of your business. So again, I kind of went through a list of things that we are implementing with companies that we work with. And so it starts with the financial foundation. So these are the brands that are going to thrive. Oh gosh, I don't want to say this in 2025. Trust me, that was not intentional. So they're not necessarily the ones that we see all over D2C Twitter, all over LinkedIn, right? These are the brands that understand the fundamentals of their business that are going to excel in 2025. I'm not saying thrive with that anymore. So they understand the fundamentals and they repeat and they check, and we review this on a monthly basis, right? And we make adjustments based on what the data is telling us. So I've put together a quick checklist on brands and the metrics that you should be analyzing that's going to set you up for the most success in 2025. If you like that, I'm going to leave a link in the description. And if you want to drop your biggest challenge right now in the comments, I'll be sure to address each of those personally. And I do have a quick question. If you've made it this way to the end of the video, do you know your true customer acquisition cost? That's my question to you. I'm just prefacing this, which this is implied in my question, but for first-time customers only, right? Not your blended ROAS, but the actual cost to acquire new customers. That's my question to you. Post it in the comments. Would love to engage with you guys in that conversation as well.